Welcome back, everybody, to WagerTalk TV. I'm Ross the Boss Benjamin of WagerTalk.com, and it's week 2 of the college football season. I'm broadcasting right now, I should say taping, on Thursday, September the 4th, and I got 2 winning games for you in college football on Saturday the 6th in games between nationally ranked and number 12 Arizona State at Mississippi State. And also, the Army Black Knights will travel to Manhattan, Kansas to take on the Kansas State Wildcats. Before I get to my analysis and picks on those games, just a couple friendly reminders, folks. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, take a second to do so. It's absolutely free, there's no cost involved, and you'll be privy to some of the best sports betting experts in all the world, including yours truly, Ross Benjamin. And also, folks, don't forget to be kind enough to give my video a like today. It shows a small token of appreciation for the work, time, and effort I put in to bringing you a quality free pick video each and every day. Let us know who you like in week 2 of the college football card. Leave it in the comments section. And just be sure to be respectful. Don't be demeaning to each other. Don't be vulgar. We're going to disagree on occasion when it comes to picks and opinions, not only in college football, but any mainstream sports betting. And that doesn't mean we have to go to war. We could prompt that into a healthy conversation. Let's keep this a positive community here at Wager Talk TV. Also, folks, don't forget my Major League Baseball trend of the day up right now on my Twitter page or X page, whatever term you want to use these days. It's at Ross Benjamin 1, at Ross Benjamin 1. I'll also start with my college football and NFL trends of the day on Saturdays and Sundays, and then Major League Baseball Monday through Friday. So a lot to look forward to. And that when you go to my X page, by the way, at Ross Benjamin 1, be sure to hit that follow button. That's also 100% free to do so, and you'll be privy to anything I put up on my X feed or Twitter feed. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. The Army Black Knights at the Kansas State Wildcats, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it'll be nationally televised by ESPN. Right now, Kansas State is a 17-point home favorite in this game. Well, the Army Black Knights went 12-2 a season ago. And let me just preface this by saying I did a college football betting preview show with Teddy Covers from the Westgate Sportsbook a couple weeks back, and we gave out a lot of predictions. We gave out a national championship prediction. We gave out a sleeper prediction. We gave out a couple of regular season over and under win totals. We gave out 2 of those each. One of my regular season win totals, ironically enough, was on Army. And I had stated that Army had won 12 games the season before. They were playing the 106th strongest schedule in the country, which is actually weak. And they only had 9 returning starters, and their over and under was only 7.5. And to me, that was an absurd low number, considering the fact they won 12 games a season to go. But when you look inside all the elements of this upcoming Army season, you could understand why. And I went under the total of 7.5. And at this point, I'm glad I did so, because they opened the season last week with a 30-27 overtime loss at home to FCS Tarleton State. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, they lost to an FCS team at home. How's that? And that wasn't very encouraging start for the Black Knights. They were 4-0 straight up on ATS on the road last year, and the wins came over Tulsa, FAU, North Texas, and Temple. And those 4 teams were 15-34 straight up on the season. So let's not get caught up with, well, Ross, they were a strong road team last year. Yes, they were. But look at the level of competition they faced. You're dating back to 2020. Army's 0-5 straight up and 1-4 against the spread on the road when facing a power conference team. Power 4 conference team, I should say, like Kansas State. And they lost those 5 games by an average of 26 points per game, and the average point spread in those games was 17.6. So right on par where we're at right now. So again, I think Kansas State is one of those teams. They got off to an unimpressive, uninspiring start. Look, they lost to Iowa State in their season opener. That's a top 20 football team. They lost that game by 3, 24-21, and the game was played in Dublin, Ireland. Then they had to travel, and with no rest, no bye week in between, they took on an FCS team at home in North Dakota, and they barely survived, winning that game 38-34. They needed a touchdown pass by Avery Johnson with less than 50 seconds left to play to win that game. But all in all, I'm willing to give Kansas State a little bit of a pass because of the travel and coming off a big game and then coming home to face an FCS opponent. I think we're going to see a much better version of the Kansas State Wildcats this week. They're going to be facing an Army team. They've been hurt in the air so far, Kansas State I'm referring to, but Army's not going to threaten you in the air. They did have over 400 yards rushing last week, but, that's against an FCS opponent, and Army's one of the best rushing teams in football over the last decade in college football, but they don't threaten you with the pass. So I see Kansas State getting out to a fast start in this game after two subpar performances and getting off to an early lead and then dictating terms to Army, where Army can't just continue to run the ball play after play after play. They're going to be playing from behind, and that Army offense is not built to come from behind. I'm going to take Kansas State here. I'm going to lay the big number of 17 over the Army Black Knights. Before I get to my next game, which is Mississippi State and Arizona State, just a friendly reminder again, folks, $77 for a 7-day all-access pass right now at WagerTalk.com. It's a limited time offer. That includes from me. You will get all my football and Major League Baseball picks, college football, NFL, and Major League Baseball picks, all for $77 for 7 days. That amounts to $11 a day. Take advantage of that offer. Folks, my college football annual package right now is $569. So they took $30 off that package. That'll take you right through the national championship game. Got off to a 4-3 start last week. And I hit my 5% best bet on LSU, who won outright as an underdog at Clemson. And again, LSU was my pick to win the national championship at plus 1,400 and to win the SEC at plus 700. Got to blow your own horn when you have a chance, folks, because God knows when I fail on these videos, some of you come out of the woodwork to crucify me. So in any event, that's okay. In any event, that's college football number one last year in units earned and win percentage. College football also number one in units earned over the last two seasons at WagerTalk.com. All right, so number 12, Arizona State travels to take on Mississippi State, and the opening kickoff slated for 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. Right now, the Arizona State Wildcats, or Sun Devils, are a 6.5-point favorite, and the total is 59. Mississippi State's coming off a 34-17 win at Southern Miss, covering as a 10-point road favorite in that game. But, don't get all caught up with that because, first of all, that's a Southern Miss team that went 0-11 versus FBS opponents last year. Brand new coaching staff. And bringing the former Marshall coach ravaged the Marshall roster and brought a ton of players over with him to Mississippi State. So I'm not so sure that was not more than a win over a less than average non-Power 4 conference team. Since 2019, the Mississippi State Bulldogs are 0-5 straight up in ATS as a home underdog of 3 or greater when coming off a straight-up win. So they haven't done well in this situation. Only 5 times this has come up since 2019, and they've gone 0-5 straight up in those situations, and straight up in ATS, I should say, when coming off a straight-up win. The average line in those 5 games was plus 14.2 for the Bulldogs, and they were outscored by 26.8 points per game. Also, keep in mind that Arizona State is it was my pick to win, a sleeper pick to win a national championship. I had LSU as my favorite pick to win a national championship. Arizona State at plus 10,000 to win the national championship. Arizona State at plus 550 to win the Big 12. Arizona State to go over 8.5 regular season win totals. You can verify that I said all that by just going to my link at WagerTalk TV, which is wt.buzz/RossTV, wt.buzz/RossTV, or the WagerTalk TV archives. You'll see that college football preview show I did with Teddy, and all of those picks were up there. Arizona State, by the way, sort of a listless performance last week, 38-19 over Northern Arizona. On the positive side, they racked up 458 yards of total offense and averaged 7.5 yards per play. They also ran for 201 yards, passed for 257, so they were very balanced in their offensive attack. But they were a little bit sloppy from a penalty standpoint, turnover standpoint. And this is an Arizona State team that won 11-3 a season ago, won the Big 12 championship, went to the college football playoff, and took Texas to overtime before losing that game as a double-digit underdog. They have 17 starters coming back from last year's team. Yes, they're missing Cam Skattebo, who's now with the New York Giants, and he was a key cog in their offense. But they have a lot returning. I mean, Sam Levitt, big second-team Big 12 conference quarterback a season ago. He's now entering his sophomore year. Yes, he did that as a freshman. And an All-American wide receiver in Jordan Tyson, who finished third-team All-American last year, also is a preseason number 1 All-American, and he had a monster game last week in that win over Northern Arizona. Arizona State played Mississippi State last year early in the season. And this is an Arizona State team that last year got better as the season moved along, but they still won that game 30-23 and covered as a 6-point favorite. Yes, Mississippi State will have revenge on their mind. However, revenge can only carry you so far. I look for a huge effort from the Sun Devils after they were heavily criticized for their uninspiring performance. They're going to be on primetime national telecast on ESPN2. Look for Arizona State to show their class in this game against a Mississippi State team that has a ways to go despite their opening win over Southern Miss. Arizona State, it is for me, minus 6.5 over Mississippi State, and also the Kansas State Wildcats, minus 17 over the Army Black Knights in college football on Saturday, September the 6th. I will also have a free pick video coming up shortly on the San Diego State and Washington State game that goes at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, so you can close your night with a winning play. Stay tuned for that. But until the next time, for Ross Benjamin and WagerTalk TV, take care and God bless, folks.